Hi guys, this is Taylor and I'm here today with my September wrap-up. September was something, had its definite highs and lows. It was very this. The very first book I attempted to read was Everybody Rise by Stephanie Clifford. I went into this really not knowing what it was and it turned out way too women's lit for me. I thought it was going to be more of a social commentary on class when in reality people were just vacationing in upstate New York and talking about the private colleges where they went to school. I only got about 50 pages in, so it's possible that that changes, but I found the section that I read totally insufferable and I couldn't stick it out. My bad. Which is a shame because it's such a pretty book and now I have to figure out what to do with it. The next book I read for my classics book club and it was Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. This is in Woolf's signature stream of consciousness style and it portrays a day in the life of Clarissa Dalloway, who is part of the upper crust of English society in the 1920s. The idea is that this is supposed to be a minute-by-minute portrayal of the human psyche, and while I find that concept really intriguing, I got little satisfaction out of the writing itself. There just wasn't much that really stuck with me. However, I really did appreciate the care and depth with which she examined mental illness, especially considering that this was written in the 1920s, holy crap. All in all, I ended up giving this a 3 out of 5 on Goodreads, but you know, like a solid 3 out of 5. I think Virginia and I are gonna have to talk again. Next, I read Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. I loved it. I think. Okay, I was fully prepared for how weird this was gonna be. I was not prepared for how messed up it was. True to Murakami style, I can't really provide a great synopsis. It's basically about a buff 15-year-old who has run away from home and a magic man, but it's also about like Colonel Sanders. It was really calm and gentle for the first half, and then it just... like, I think the most disturbing scene I've ever read was in this book, but don't get me wrong, it's incredible. The ride you are taken on as a reader, combined with Murakami's writing style, which I love, is unreal. Strong contender for the best book I've read this year. Definitely one of my favorite books in general. Seriously, if there was like 50% less sex in this book, it would be perfect for me. So I guess what I'm saying is I love this and you should read it. Unless you find yourself with a particular aversion to graphic animal death, not for you. 5 out of 5, no question. Okay, deep breath. Then, in my big lead up to reading book 4, I read Vampirates, Blood Captain, the third book in the Vampirates series by Justin Somper. I remember not liking this one as much as a kid, but it was pretty fun as an adult. It's very fast-paced and piratey, and the romantic interest is... honestly, I'm having so much fun rereading these, and this one in particular ends in a massive cliffhanger, and I have never continued on past this point, so I'm really excited for October. So right now, the thing that everybody in the library has been reading and bullying each other into reading has been The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. This is nonfiction by professional organizer Marie Kondo, and she claims to have developed a method where none of her clients have ever relapsed into untidiness. There's been so much buzz about this, and I'm sure she works great as a personal organizer, but I just don't think it translated well into book form. I felt like a lot of the advice she gave was very vague, and I feel like people and their spaces are too individual to be addressed in such a compact form. I gave it a 2 out of 5 on Goodreads. Next, I finally read The Hungry Ghost Festival by Jen Campbell, who is a lovely booktuber. This is her debut poetry collection and it's wonderful. It's got some nice magic fairy tale elements, and it would work great as a primer if you're looking to get into more poetry because it's very short. Jen is also participating in a fundraiser very soon wherein she will be writing 100 poems in 48 hours. And the proceeds are going to a bookish charity. I will link the Indiegogo in the doobly-doo. What a sentence. And finally, the last book I completed in September was Are You My Mother by Alison Bechdel. This is the follow-up to her graphic memoir, Fun Home, which I read last month and loved. Fun Home deals primarily with her father, and this, as you can tell from the title, deals primarily with her mother. But it's not solely about her mother, it's also about psychotherapy and relationships in general. I know a lot of people didn't like this as much as Fun Home, but I pretty much did, and I particularly liked the ending. I think both this and Fun Home really opened my eyes to what a graphic novel is really capable of. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. So that was my September. Stay tuned for what happens in October. Stay tuned for what happens with my next Murakami read and the chaos that ensues after that. See you next time. Bye!